The 2010s were super stacked for sci-fi. We got dream heists, alien languages, time loops, dying planets, giant robots, frozen trains, digital worlds, and Matt Damon surviving on Mars with science and potatoes.
And the best part, these movies were not all doing the same thing. Some were deep, some were weird, some were emotional, and some were just pure popcorn. But every single one gave us a sci-fi idea that still holds up. So today, we're counting down the top 10 sci-fi movies of the 2010s that still hold up. And if you enjoyed these types of video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
At number 10, we have Ready Player One. This is not the deepest movie on the list, but as a sci-fi adventure ride, it works. The idea is simple. In a broken future, people escape into a massive virtual world called the Oasis. And inside that world, nostalgia, gaming, and pop culture basically become a new reality. The movie is overloaded with references, sure, but underneath all the chaos, there is a strong sci-fi question. What happens when virtual life becomes more attractive than real life? That idea has only become more relevant. So no, it's not a masterpiece, but it's colorful, fast, fun, and still one of the biggest digital world sci-fi movies of the decade.
At number 9, we have Snowpiercer. The world is frozen and the last survivors live on a train that never stops moving. The rich are at the front and the poor are crushed at the back. That is the whole metaphor, and the movie does not hide it. This is sci-fi as class warfare. The train is society. The engine is the system. Everyone is told they have a fixed place, and anyone who questions that becomes dangerous. It is strange, angry, funny, brutal, and very Bong Joon-ho. Snowpiercer holds up because it uses a wild concept to say something painfully direct. Sometimes the whole system only works because people at the back are forced to suffer.
At number 8, we have Edge of Tomorrow. Or basically, Tom Cruise gets trapped in a time loop during an alien war and has to die over and over until he gets good. That is such a clean sci-fi hook. Every reset becomes training. Every failure becomes information. Every death moves him closer to winning. It has the rhythm of a video game, but the tension of a war movie. And Emily Blunt gives the whole thing its edge. The reason it still holds up is simple. It's smart, fast, funny, and incredibly rewatchable. Not the deepest movie here, but maybe one of the most purely entertaining.
At number 7, we have Predestination. This is a movie you tell someone to watch blind. It starts like a time traveler thriller about stopping a criminal, but slowly turns into something much stranger. A story about identity, fate, and whether your life was ever really your own. The movie is mostly conversations, reveals, and one giant time loop headache. But that's why it works. Predestination is bold, disturbing, and extremely hard to explain without ruining it. It is not the biggest sci-fi movie of the decade, but as a time travel puzzle, it is one of the most unforgettable.
At number 6, we have Blade Runner 2049. Visually, this might be the most beautiful sci-fi movie of the decade. The orange wastelands, gold city lights, giant holograms, the lonely silence make the future feel completely haunted. But the movie is not just pretty. It asks a brutal question. Do you need to be special for your life to matter? That is the emotional core. It is slow, cold, and not for everyone, which is why it sits at number 6. But as a piece of cinematic sci-fi, it is stunning. Blade Runner 2049 is not just about artificial life. It is about the desperate need to believe your existence means something.
At number 5, we have Pacific Rim. And yes, this is above Blade Runner 2049. We know, but listen, giant monsters rise from the ocean and humanity builds giant robots to punch them back to the sea. This is absolute cinema. The movie works because it's completely sincere. It never acts embarrassed by its own premise. It fully believes giant robots fighting kaiju can be heroic, emotional, and awesome. The pilot sync idea also gives it heart. Two people have to share memories and trust each other to control one machine. So no, this is not the most intellectual movie here, but as pure sci-fi spectacle, Pacific Rim still hits hard. Sometimes sci-fi makes you think, and sometimes it lets a robot hit a monster with a cargo ship.
At number 4, we have Arrival. This looks like an alien invasion movie, but it is really a movie about language. The question is not how do we defeat the aliens, it's how do we understand them. That shift makes the whole movie special. Arrival is about communication, fear, grief, time, and the way language changes how we see reality. Amy Adams carries the movie with this quiet sadness that makes the sci-fi idea feel deeply human. It is not loud, it is not action-heavy, but it is one of the smartest and most emotional sci-fi films of the decade. Sometimes the biggest battle is just trying to understand someone before fear takes over.
At number 3, we have Inception. The concept is brilliant. People enter dreams to steal secrets, but this time they have to plant an idea. Dreams become heist locations, memories become traps, emotions become security systems, and somehow Christopher Nolan made all that work as a mainstream blockbuster. The dream layers, the folding city, the hallway fight, the spinning top, all of it become instantly iconic. But underneath all the puzzle, the movie is really about guilt, memory, and a man trying to get back home. This movie will always hold up. It made smart sci-fi feel like a global event.
At number 2, we have The Martian. This is one of the most optimistic sci-fi movies of the decade. A man gets stranded on Mars, and instead of giving up, he survives through science, humor, and stubborn problem solving. That is the whole appeal. He needs food, water, communication, a rescue plan. Every problem has a process, and every solution feels earned. This movie makes intelligence feel heroic. And unlike a lot of grim sci-fi, The Martian believes humanity can work together when it matters. It is funny, tense, smart, and weirdly comforting. In a decade full of dark futures, The Martian gave us hope. And potatoes.
Before we get to number 1, we have to give an honorable mention to Alita: Battle Angel. The movie has flaws, but it also has strong sci-fi identity. Cyberpunk cities, body upgrades, brutal arena sports, lost memories, artificial bodies, human emotions. It's got all the ingredients, and Alita herself is easy to root for. The movie feels like it's setting up a much bigger story, maybe too much, but the action is sharp, the world is memorable, and the fan base is still passionate. So it does not make the top 10, but it absolutely deserves a shout out.
And at number 1, we have Interstellar. This is the big one. Earth is dying. Humanity needs a new home. A group of astronauts travels through a wormhole to search for survival. But the real story is much simpler. A father leaves his daughter to try to save the future. That is why the movie hits so hard. Space is the skill, but love is the engine. It has black holes, wormholes, time dilation, dying crops, impossible choices, and one of the most stressful docking scenes ever filmed. But the scene people remember most is emotional. Cooper watching years of messages from his children and realizing what time has taken from him. That is the real villain of the movie. Time. You can cross galaxies, but you cannot easily get back the years you lost. That is why Interstellar still feels huge. It is not just about space. It's about love, sacrifice, survival, and what it means to fight for the people who come after us. For the 2010s, this is the sci-fi movie that still feels the biggest.
So that's our list, the best sci-fi movies from the 2010s that still hold up.
Some were deep, some were emotional, some were pure spectacle. But all of them proved sci-fi works best when the big idea connects to something human.
Let us know in the comments which movie you would have put at number 1.
And which one did we miss?
Like and subscribe for more movie and sci-fi breakdowns.